Welcome back to part 2 of Busting Your Writer's Block, a new series here on Writing Workshop Wednesdays. If you missed it, last week's episode covered what to do if you're stuck on a scene. Being stuck on a scene is a micro problem, which means it's pretty small scale and usually easily fixable. Feeling stuck on your plot, and when I say that, I don't just mean this is a bad writing day. I mean you've been working on trying to write your draft or even re-outline your story for days or weeks, and it's starting to feel like you're just juggling snowballs and they're melting in your hands, and this is a weird metaphor. That's a sign that you might be dealing with a macro problem. But don't lose hope. It doesn't mean that your story is damaged beyond repair. Today, we're gonna talk about what you can do if you feel like you're just pulling your story through the swamp of sadness and watching it sink before your eyes. I am so sorry. So there are a lot of reasons authors run into plot problems, but in general, I think this is the biggest culprit. Things are happening to the protagonist instead of the protagonist making things happen. We authors get tired of playing God. Our minds grow weary throwing in obstacle after obstacle and twist after twist. And the thing is, we shouldn't have to. After your inciting incident, when the character is on the road, you need to let them take the wheel. Is it scary? Yeah, a little bit. I mean, she's just a kid. And maybe she won't keep driving down that path you paved out in your outline. Maybe she'll steer this thing off the path, barrel through the woods, fly off a bridge, find a whole slew of obstacles you weren't even aware of, and mow every last one down. Just go with it. This advice applies only to characters, not actual children. I know that seems kind of counterintuitive. Back in this video, I went on and on about how much fun plotting and outlining is, and I mean it. And sometimes outlining works perfectly and your draft never veers off course. But sometimes it does, and that doesn't mean that your outline was a waste of time. It got you this far after all, and there are likely plenty of scenes to come that you're going to get to eventually. You're just taking a detour, or rather your protagonist is. If you have a solid outline in place and you feel like you can work out this plot snafu, then by all means, do it. But if things just don't feel right to you anymore, and you know what I mean, like that feeling in your gut of, oh, I missed something, this isn't right, this isn't working, chances are it's because your characters don't want to travel down that road you paved out for them. And that's okay, it's fixable. Okay, but how? Let's look at your plot in a different way. In the magic words, yes, this is my favorite writing craft book. I know I talk about it a lot. Link in the description if you want to check it out. In this book, Cheryl Klein talks about the 3 different types of plot: a conflict plot, a mystery plot, and a lack plot. Conflict plots are man versus man, man versus nature, man versus himself. Our protagonist is battling something or someone. It may or may not be human, but there's an antagonist. If this is your plot, the stakes for your character should be crystal clear. In a mystery plot, your character is looking for something. No, Sherlock. Maybe she's looking for a missing object, a missing person, a murderer. She may even just be looking for an idea. In a lack plot, the character is searching for emotional fulfillment. It's usually love, but not always. So first off, which one of these categories does your plot fall under? Yes, you probably have a mix of all of it. You might have a little bit of mystery and your character might be lacking a little something, and I hope there's conflict. But in the very core of your story, what's driving it forward? Is it a versus thing? Is it a missing thing? Or is it a lack thing? If you're not sure, look at your inciting incident. In a conflict plot, the antagonist, again, whether it's human or nature, is introduced in the inciting incident. In a mystery plot, the inciting incident is where your main character becomes aware of the thing that happened, which means that in mysteries, the actual inciting incident, the moment of the murder, the theft, the disappearance, whatever it was, actually happened before the start of the book. And in a lack plot, the inciting incident either shows the reader what the main character is lacking, and or the protagonist meets someone who may be able to fulfill that emotional lack, and maybe even makes the protagonist aware that that's what's missing. Now, most of the time when an author gets stuck on her plot, it happens in the middle of the book, that big giant mess that we call Act 2. In Act 2 of a conflict plot, the threat posed by the antagonist hits a new level and the antagonist gathers more strength. In a mystery plot, new clues are discovered and often the inciting incident happens again. Another murder, another disappearance, another theft. In a lack plot, in Act 2, the protagonist will try stepping out of their comfort zone to try to find and get that emotional fulfillment, but it will backfire. There will be a betrayal, a misunderstanding, some sort of setback. But again, you can't just throw these random obstacles at your character. She's brought these problems on herself, or at least she should have. Remember back in this video when we talked about character postulates? Quick review, character postulates are those deep-seated beliefs a character may or may not be aware that she has, such as all people are capable of evil, or everyone I trust will eventually betray me. These postulates result in compulsions, in which the character repeatedly acts on these beliefs regardless of whether or not they're actually true. Your character's choices in Act 2 should be a result of those compulsions. They are those compulsions, which means that they will be expecting one outcome because of those beliefs, but then another outcome will happen and they don't understand what's going wrong. Okay, stop. Enough talk about theory. Let's get to an exercise that can help you get past your writer's block on your plot right now. I know you're probably looking at the time on this video and thinking, yeah, there is no way this girl is gonna fix my plot this fast. Well, no, I'm not gonna fix your plot. You're gonna fix your plot. And yes, I do have an exercise that no matter what your plot is about and no matter what issue you're having with it, this exercise has never failed me. I have used this exercise that I'm about to share with you in so many of my writing workshops anytime a student gets stuck on a story. And when they do it and they do it right, it works 100% of the time. But you have to do exactly what I say. Okay, ready? Here we go. Open a brand new document or get out a brand new notebook or a brand new sheet of paper. Do not write this anywhere near where your draft exists. Get out of Scrivener, close that Word doc, put that other notebook away, and write on a fresh piece of paper. Now, you are going to write what I'm gonna call the forbidden scene. This scene is going to feature your characters, it's going to be set in your world, and it's going to take place within the time span of your novel. But this scene will never, ever, 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 under any circumstances, be in your draft, because I forbid it. So this scene can be from any character's point of view. It could be your protagonist, it could be a side character, it might even be your antagonist. But it can't be a new character. It has to be an existing character in your cast. Maybe this is a scene that is something one of your side characters was up to while the protagonist was off fighting a battle. Maybe this is your antagonist secretly watching your protagonist during the inciting incident. Don't bother trying to come up with a point for this scene. There is no point because this scene is forbidden, so who cares? Anything goes, so long as you understand, and look at me now, this scene will never be in your book. If you do this exercise and you want to share the scene you got, or if you just want to vent about the plot problems that you're having in your book, please share in the comments. I'd love to chat with you about it. That's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned next week for part 3 of this series when we're going to talk about what to do when you're stuck on your main character. If you found this video helpful, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to get notified every time I post a new video. And until next time, keep writing. That forbidden scene, it's probably going to end up in your book.